the pattern breaking method. This is what we're going to go over today. I want to first tell you this is my first time making a video on a whiteboard. And so we're going to figure this out as we go. I plan to upgrade things. I know you can see kind of like the glare from here. We're just going to ignore all of that for now and just focus on the lesson. Because if you can get this, then you're good. You're golden. This is 4 steps to breaking your limiting patterns and expanding into new patterns that are going to get you closer to your desired reality. And this this framework here is interwoven into every single thing that I do with clients. This is the method that has gotten one of my clients broken out of 4-figure months and into 5-figure months. This is the method that got my client from making $60K a year to $60K a month in a year. This is the method that has gotten my client to make $1.2 million a month and be on vacation the entire time because he broke his addiction to chaos and these limiting patterns. And so the world is revolved around patterns. That is, we are made up of patterns. So if you can understand this concept, then you'll be able to, at the very least, be aware of your patterns and break them down so that you can merge into something new. What I notice is that the human mind loves to understand, it loves knowledge, and it sets it free. So when you can see a light at the end of the tunnel, or you can see an answer to the things that you feel so stuck in, these cycles that you feel stuck in, these patterns that you feel stuck in, then it provides immediate safety. And what does safety breed? Safety breeds creativity. Safety breeds happiness, joy, access to higher vibrating emotions, which essentially is what calls in more money, more success, and more of the things it is that you want in life. And really, overall happiness. So let's talk about this. A pattern starts with a limiting belief. It's been so, It's been so long since I wrote on a whiteboard here. Limiting belief. That limiting belief creates a fear. That fear then creates a behavior. That behavior then creates this. This is a limiting pattern, so undesired outcome. Okay, here's the thing. Your limiting belief lives in your subconscious mind. It's in your body. It then creates a fear in your mind that creates a behavior as a protective mechanism, and then you get this undesired outcome. And what happens here is, and I'll break this down more into an actual pattern, but what happens is this undesired outcome, because we keep getting the same outcome, it just confirms your limiting belief. So let's look at this. Limiting belief could be, I just worked on a pattern recently with one of my clients, so we'll go there. We'll do his. I'm not enough. And we'll do this one too because it's very common. I'm not enough. That is the limiting belief that was created from an experience or a trauma in his life and created this narrative of I am not enough. And then created this fear of loss. So what had happened in this person's life is that they had lost somebody they loved in their life. And they lost a few things in their life that they loved. A caregiver, and then a business and a business partner. And this happens throughout our life. We lose friendships, we go through breakups, and we can either, it depends how our mind is going to understand the loss. It can create a fear of loss, or you can shift it in different directions, which we will get to. But in a lot of cases, when you lose something you love, it creates this fear of loss. And then the behavior becomes overcompensating, people pleasing, overcommitting. These are just some of them. Ignore my spelling. I don't know that I know how to spell all that well. Overcommitting and self-sabotage. Okay, so we see how this plays into one another. I am not enough. So I have a fear of loss, so I need to overcompensate, people please, or overcommit in order to try to prove myself. But in the end, I end up getting this undesired outcome of never having enough, being on the brink of loss. So through this like overcompensation and overcommitting, we end up burning ourselves out, doing too much, also building resentment. And then it puts us on the brink of our relationships. It puts us on the brink of our finances. It puts us on the brink of our career. And this is where the mind is starting to get confirmed of this. I'm not enough. I don't have enough, so I must not be enough. Nothing's enough. I don't have enough money. I am barely functioning in my relationship, or it's on the brink, or they're upset with me, and then it makes me feel like I'm not enough. So on the brink of loss, or just having enough. Well, do I want to say just having enough? More so, not having enough. It even shows up with time, right? Like when we start to overcompensate, overcommit, it's like, well, I don't have enough time. Time is getting away from me. I don't have enough money because I keep putting too much money here, and there, trying to overcompensate, trying to prove, trying to people please. And this is how this all plays out. This pattern right here. So, very, very important to understand your personal pattern. So as I'm doing this, I really want you to think about like plugging in for yourself. I do this inside of the Money Expansion Club specifically for money. If you are looking to expand your income, heal your relationship with money, I break this thing down and I give you workbooks, I give you worksheets, I give you all of these practices, meditation, and everything. The link is in my bio. People have gotten crazy results from just being in the Money Expansion Club alone, going through the I Love Money, the course, because we break down all of this. It's this framework works and it's interwoven into everything that I do, including I Love Money, the course, which is in the Money Expansion Club. The link is in the bio if you're interested in that, because it really focuses on money. This pattern definitely goes for money, but it goes for everything. We're just looking at the holistic life view right now. So here's what we want to do. We want to shift into a new pattern. That means what we need to do is heal. Y'all don't like that word usually. This is where I get the most resistance. You have to heal the limiting belief. And people want to skip this step, but it's impossible. It's impossible to skip this step, because if you go straight to the mindset, listen, if you skip the healing step and you go straight to mindset and behavior shifting, you just change your behaviors and you just change your mindset, you rewire them, you start acting like a robot. And this is where sociopaths and narcissism and all of that is birthed. Okay? We don't want to go there. These are the ones that are like, oh, I'm just gonna bypass the healing stage and go straight to shifting the mindset and the behavior and putting on this show and this performance and acting like everything's all right when really your inner world's in absolute turmoil. We don't want to go there. We don't want that. We need to do the healing work. What does that look like? It looks like lots of things. Lots of things. What I love is inner child healing work. Okay, but what we really need to do, the main theme here is to feel. Something that nobody taught us how to do. But don't worry, on this channel, I'll be talking a lot about how to feel. How to feel and release so you can enter high vibrations, so you can live a better life. Trust me, it's life-changing. I used to live in a very different place in my inner world. This is an inner game. This is an inner game. It's not an outer game. Okay? One thing we really have to understand. This life is an inner game, not an outer game. And our feelings and emotions are what speak the language of the subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is what creates your reality. So if you can shift your baseline and shift your underlying emotions by going through this framework, then you can create an entirely new reality for yourself. So when you feel stuck in these cycles and stuck in these patterns, it's because nobody taught you how to do this. And so I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this, step by step, video after video. This is my mission. So heal. You can do inner child healing. There's all sorts of healing, and of course, a belief in God is needed. If you do not believe in God, this probably is not the channel for you. And a belief in God, submitting to God, surrendering to God, giving it to God, healing and feeling. This is where you want to feel your emotions and release them. So what's going to have to happen is we want to go back to the origin story of I'm not enough. Where did this take place? Okay, it started all the way back in when I was a young child and my parent left or my parent died, right? And we go here and then we feel and release the emotions that I'm sure you haven't felt and released. And maybe it is that you did, and maybe there's another situation or experience after that. But if there's trapped emotions, those emotions are going to run your life. The fear, the anxiety, the grief, the shame, the guilt, all those low vibrating emotions are going to take hold of your life if you do not release them. So what we want to do is go back, heal and feel. Release it, let it go, because when that happens, we can actually move down here to mindset. We can actually do something about our mindset. People like to go straight to the affirmations. Let me just rewire my mind and pretty much manipulate myself into like this it's a toxic positivity, into this like robotic positive state. But if once you do this stage, you've softened up the subconscious mind and you've also freed up space internally. So when you do affirmations and things like that, I don't hate affirmations. People are like, there's all this movement. I don't hate them. I don't love them. But you can definitely do affirmations. But this is where we do more of the logical work. What happened? What actually happened, right? Versus the story you made up. This is where we could start to do this logical mental work, which is making a list. What actually happened versus the story that I made up, and finding the actual truth. Because if we don't heal, we're never going to be able to get there. Our mind's constantly going to be living off of these old narratives, old emotions, old stories. But once we clear this up, oh my gosh, the clarity that it brings. I can't tell you, whenever I work with clients, they're just like, I can't believe the amount of clarity that this has brought me. Like I could see straight. I could see it's like the whole world opened up in front of me. It's so cool to watch. It's really fun. So this is where we can start to find the truth and the logic and the reasoning and the understanding of what really happened that created this fear here, this fear of loss. Why am I so afraid of loss? And how can I speak to this fear and talk to it and say, that happened, but am I willing to live a life where I'm constantly in fear of losing something that I love, to never love again, or to never allow myself to enjoy my success, or never allow myself to enjoy my relationships and just continually start fights or get myself in predicaments that sabotage or evoke chaos or toxicity, right? That's where like all of this stuff happens. So if we can do the mindset work around it, again, that looks like lots of things. I'm just giving you guys some some examples, some baseline stuff. Then naturally the behavior is going to change, but also sometimes we're really wired in our habits of how we react to things or how we operate. Overcompensating, people pleasing, overcommitting. This person's going to have to say no, right? Or they're going to have to start taking space to figure out what it is that they want. They're going to probably have to start taking some more quiet time or say like, hey, I'll let you know, let me get back to you, versus going straight to yes, people pleasing, overcommitting, overdoing. And they're going to have to change that behavior. Change the behavior. Why? This arguably is the most important step. They're all important. But the behavior is the most important step because everything that you do sends your brain a message as to how you think and feel about yourself. So every single time you overcompensate, you people please, or you overcommit, you just sent your brain a message, I'm not enough. That's a big problem. Because when you're trying to change this limiting belief to I am enough, right? We'll get there. We're going to shift it. But if you're trying to change it to a positive, then you have to change the behavior. And you be easy with yourself, right? Like you may not get it right away. It may take some time, but you really have to take note of the behavior and how important it is to shift it and take your baby steps towards it, right? You probably won't go from a yes person to a no person right away. You're probably going to have to say like, hey, let me take some space. Hey, let me get back to you. You know what? Texting that person, hey, I overcommitted. Can I reschedule for next month's time because I'm just too slammed this month, right? Things like that, but you have to change the behavior. And then you're going to get this new outcome. New desired outcome. Yay. Because, oh wait, that's not it. You do get a new desired outcome, but this is the step that I really want to talk about. Receive. Okay. This is where people get stuck. Get really stuck here. Because when you go through this, your life changes dramatically, depending to the level to which you break a pattern. But it changes, meaning your friends might change, meaning your career might change, meaning you might make more money, but that's out of your nervous system capacity, that's out of your comfort zone, meaning you're going to elevate. And the big reason people don't elevate is because they're wired to stay in their comfort zone. I'll do another video on that. And it's very threatening to the nervous system. It's scary to change because you're diving into uncharted territory. You're swimming the unknown, the waters of the unknown. You have no idea what's going to happen because this pattern is so predictable. You've been doing it your whole life. Now you have to receive a new desired outcome. Desired outcome. Okay. So this is where a lot of people will stop or avoid or self-sabotage. They get a little stuck there. So pay attention to that one. That's important. Now let's create a new pattern here from this old pattern. Let me get some water. This looks good. So yeah, we went from this pattern here. We broke it down. We healed. We mindset shifted. We behavior changed. We received a new desired outcome. So what it's going to look like is a new belief. A new belief. I'm enough. Being me is enough. I added that because some people want to go straight to like, I have enough money, so that makes me enough, or look at all the things that they have in their life and be like, I am enough, I have enough. But like, no, no, no. Being you is enough. Like, just being you is enough. Like, point blank. You're great, you're valuable. This is where you start to let's add this too. I am valuable. Seeing your value, that's what makes you most successful. But yes, and through all the healing and feeling, we were able to shift and find this is our new narrative. And it's possible. You get there. Some people are like, oh, I don't know that I can ever get there. Does anybody ever get there? You do. You definitely do. So the fear of loss can now become, and this is really going to be tailored to you and your experience. Like, you need to come up with this for yourself, but I'm giving you examples. I'm going to go straight to God. I'm a child of God. Well, yes, I'm a child of God, but I trust. I trust in my discernment. Um, I the right people make their way into my life. I love this one. I can go through hard things and trust in God. Right? That's important because the losing of somebody is really painful. And that's what we're afraid of here, the fear of loss. And what I love to remind myself is I can go through hard things, especially when I put my faith in God and in my heart, right? And knowing that I can make it through. I'm an adult, I'm not a child anymore. I have control, and I can move through hard things. I've shown it in my past. I've done it. I know how to feel and release my emotions. That's a big reason why people avoid it, because they don't really know how to process it. But now that you're knowing how to process it, you can say, I can go through hard things. Everything's going to be okay. That's another one. Everything's going to be okay. And again, doing that, like, what happened, right? I lost somebody, but the story they made up in their head could have been, I didn't spend enough time with that person and they passed away and I didn't do enough. And now I'm full of regret. And so now I'm stuck in this pattern. And we want to get away from that, right? I trusted my discernment, meaning like I trusted that I did the best thing that I knew how at the time. I trusted my path. The right people will make their way into my life and out of my life. And I trust in that. I can go through hard things. I can go hard things. Okay, whatever, I could go through hard things. The behavior is now going to be taking space. Taking space. And I would say thinking, taking space to think about what I want, right? The person who's in this pattern. Because that's the biggest thing. You keep abandoning yourself and sacrificing your needs, and it's confirming this limiting belief. It's not fun. It takes a hit on your self-worth every time. So taking space and thinking about what I want is important. And I'm not telling you to go all the way to the other end here of like selfishness and not considering your people, but really thinking like, hey, what do I want right now? What do I need right now? And what conversations do I need to have with my loved ones in order to get to a good place, right? So taking space, what I would really go with here is like, let me let you know. or let me get back to you. Big for people pleasing. Because what happens here in this new behavior, instead of overcommitting and overcompensating, you take space and you say, let me let you know. You start taking your power back, and you start also integrating safety. Again, safety is like the number one thing that the human mind needs to be able to birth like the life it is that you want to live, your desired reality. So taking space and thinking about what I want, let me let you know, let me get back to you. This is going to give you back your power, this very behavior, and start shifting this limiting belief. Okay, and then here, when your life changes and things are looking different, you're going to have to allow yourself to receive that new desired outcome. So what's going to happen? Okay, wait, boundaries. We're going to have boundaries here. Of course, that's a given. Okay, so receive your new desired outcome. So what that looks like is you're going to be happier. You're going to feel more confident, and these feelings are going to be foreign. They're going to be different. If you've been in old patterns for a long time, the chaos becomes addicting. The suffering becomes addicting. Addiction to suffering, addiction to chaos, addiction to toxicity, all very addicting emotions, especially when you've been stuck in it for a while. So when you need to receive is peace. You're going to receive peace. You're going to receive joy. You're going to receive flow, even abundance, because you're stuck in this place of nothing's enough, but now everything's enough because you honor yourself and you fill yourself up inside. So that's that. So old pattern. Excuse me. Okay, new pattern. Is that a hiccup? I think I just hiccuped. New pattern. And this is the process. Process. Okay. Yes. And this is pattern. It's just a regular old pattern. So there could be positive patterns. There could be limiting patterns. This is what I would say is a limiting pattern. This is your new positive pattern. And this is the process to get from here to here. So I hope that was helpful. Again, if you need any further resources, head down to my bio where I have the Money Expansion Club. It's awesome. It's really awesome. Like an entire course. I break it down from start to finish, how to break your patterns around money. And but you can take that process and use it for anything. So I hope this was helpful. That's all I have for you today.